Another thing that comes up, people don't seem to understand, is that the NFT is not a copyright. If you mint on OpenSea or SoulSea or most marketplaces, you only own the rights to personal use. So that means if it's music, you can play the music, you can watch the video, you can invite your friends over to your house, you can throw a personal party, you can put on a t-shirt, but you can't resell it commercially. So you can't brand your company, you can't put the music in your movie or anything else for commercial use unless otherwise specified. And again, so if you're on a platform that does not have, most platforms do not have additional use licenses, they just have personal use license. So who owns the copyright? Just to start from the very beginning, the creator owns the copyright unless someone paid the creator for the piece of work. So, I'm from the newspaper industry. If I write a story and I'm hired by a company to write that story, it belongs to them because they paid me to write it. If I write it on my own, I own the copyright. Much harder to monetize. And the same is for music, art, graphic art, anything else. So that's the original owner of the copyright. Now, it may be very difficult to prove, but that's who actually owns it. And that's where you get these kind of, oh, I emailed it to myself and that's my proof that I did it on X date, which people are still using, believe it or not, but they do. So if you want to create additional use licenses, SoulSea has a selection of 9 pre-written license agreements with various stages of use licensing. It's like if you're a photographer and you put your work on iStock Photo, you've given them the right to sell it, but that's a use right. It's not necessarily a full copyright. So you can sort of negotiate between, you have 100% all uses in perpetuity or anything in between. The right to use it for these purposes. I can put in an ad on my website, but I can't resell it in case of iStock. So there's all these little variations of use licensing. And then I've noticed that in the music world, when we look at the marketplaces, music marketplaces are much more advanced in this whole copyright issue. So when a band buys your music on Audius, they have the right to personal use, but they can also expand. Some exchanges have the right to expand those even to a full copyright, so that they can actually have a copyright exchange. But I haven't really seen that in the art world. I'm not saying it doesn't exist. I just haven't, run into it. If you want to use OpenSea, there's many, many good reasons to use OpenSea. It's the largest marketplace. People are going there first to search for things, kind of like Amazon. They sort of expect it to be there. But if you want to create your own, you got to put it, link to it in the unlockable content and then deliver it. So that means you have to copy somebody's, if you don't want to hire an attorney, you can use LegalZoom. You can literally copy it off of SoulSea if you want to, but it's not going to be directly connected to your smart contract. And I will say, even on SoulSea, it's not in the smart contract. It's just connected to it in the same way that the unlockable content is connected to the purchase in OpenSea.